looking towards Odegaard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant! I don't believe it! I swear I do not believe it! And they are back on terms!
Hello and welcome to the Rotherham United podcast. Ben is not quite ready, apparently.
I forgot something. That's fine.
Apologies to the terrible sound there, everybody. Ben was in for a minute.
I thought he'd fallen off his chair.
I did. Not quite the professional start I was hoping for. That's
Well, never mind.
Sorry, that was on me.
that's life, I suppose.
That was on me.
So start again. Hello, welcome to the Rotherham United podcast. This is the review show for the fantastic win against Middlesbrough on Wednesday night. And we'll also be looking ahead to Saturday in what will be a very, very tough game against Swansea City. Last night, we've had, a day to think about it as we're recording on Thursday night. Ben, are your thoughts still as positive and as glowing as they were yesterday?
Even better. Because you just have had time to reflect on how good it is for, our league position, everything. It's just such a good result. Confidence at the team. It sends a message to everybody else. It's a perfect result, really. Couldn't ask for any better. In my opinion.
No, I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. I was a bit frightened, to be honest, at the beginning of the game. I thought, I felt if we lost, had we lost last night, it would have not been great, obviously, because it would have knocked one of our games in hand off, and we'd have been still significantly behind Derby, really. So I was really happy fantastic result, unbelievable result, really. Can't fault it. Can't fault the performance, the result. I've got nothing bad to say about it. Our performance.
Yeah,
I agree.
It was superb. We could have been. It could have been 5 or 6-0, and that wouldn't have been an unfair reflection on the game, would it?
No, I think it should have been. It should have been. I mean, to be fair, if you're going to be hypercritical, Crooks should have scored at least one more with that one-on-one with the keeper. That break in the second half where we broke like Barcelona.
Richard Wood broke like Lionel Messi.
Let me rephrase that. Richard Wood broke like Lionel Messi. The finish from Crooks I took a touch too many. That would have been an unbelievable goal, but he should have done better with the finish. So I am being very, very critical, obviously, looking at the overall performance. So it could and probably should have been 4 or 5.
Completely agree. Ben, Michael Smith, we talked about this like we did a live show. The appearance didn't watch. We did a live show on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter after the show, and we could not have heaped more praise on Michael Smith. It was as good as individual performance in a Rotherham shirt in a very, very long time.
If he plays like that, he'll be in Premier League. It was ridiculous. That one-on-one that he had in the start of the game, where he basically skimmed the post. A year ago, 2 years ago, that goes miles wide.
I think a year ago, he didn't even take a shot on.
Yeah. I was just thinking that, but it was ridiculous, unplayable. Nothing. There was just nothing you can do. It was strong. He held it up well. He won everything in the air.
Quite quick as well, wasn't he? When he were into them channels, he weren't slow.
Obviously, took penalty, kept composure. Didn't that guy try saying to him? Can't remember what he's. On
the lines of that. He basically saying to Smithy that Smithy he don't believe in Smithy. Smithy don't even believe in himself.
Yeah.
And then Crooks told him what for after he buried it.
Yeah. That picture tells 1,000 words. Even if you cut Morsey out of the picture, it tells 1,000 words of a team that are absolutely playing together. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. I love that picture. I've put it on the thumbnail for this video as well, so that'll be up there on YouTube. And There's a bit like, I think somebody's put it out on social media somewhere that pictures like that are the ones that should be adorning the dressing room walls, really, shouldn't they? To show what it means to the players, because it's fantastic, great.
And to show other teams this is what we're about. If you're coming at us, you best be good, because otherwise this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Smith was unplayable. Mick, what is it? I think it's 5 goals in 6 games. Is 6 goals this season. He only got 8 last time at Championship. Is getting that consistency of finding. I know it's a penalty, but Bettinelli pulled off a wonder save to stop him getting a very, very good header.
Absolutely.
He doesn't look a different player. He just looks at a slightly higher level than he did last time.
He does, and he's just sitting his straps in here. And the key to with Michael Smith is he's gone in and out of periods of a season, hasn't he? He'll have 5 or 6 decent games, or 3 or 4 decent games, and then he'll drop out of form again. At the moment, he seems to be holding that form, but I mean, a massive amount of that is going to have to be confidence, isn't it? And after the way he's played in these last few games, confidence is one thing he is not going to be short of. He's been outstanding, isn't
it? He came back in against QPR, didn't he? Which was in November time, and he scored a goal. Was fantastic. Since then, he's been very, very good.
Yeah, he has.
Back in a few times.
We've been looking for somebody to partner him.
Yeah.
We've been looking for somebody to partner him. Freddie's not up to it. He's shown he's not up to it, in my view. Hurst, I'll come on to Hurst from last night, but Hurst is really probably not up to it. So that's it. It's him or it's Crooksy or nobody else. And Crooksy wasn't playing particularly well, was he? Up until probably a similar sort of time. It was well into the season before he started to really sort of hit his straps as well. So I agree.
Crooks were fantastic. I think took his goal really, really well. Such a difficult goal. They talked about on the Football League show Quest about how much of a difficult technique that is, Ben. It's coming out of the sky, and you sort of have to take yourself back a little bit and then on it.
The Crooks' volley.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. I think was it Everton that had basically an identical volley against, where it would nearly touch it and he went miles wide. It weren't like a big chance or anything, but he took it so well. I thought keeper might have saved it. I didn't think it was going in when he hit it. If I'm being honest,
but he saw it. The keeper saw it very, very, very late.
Yeah, you saw that on the replay, but didn't take his eye off it. Caught it near beautifully, well enough.
Yeah,
it weren't top corner back net volley, James Rodriguez World Cup style, but it did job, didn't it? That's what you need in Championship. You catch it that well, it's going in.
Yeah. It was Matt Crooks' 20th goal for the club in all competitions, which for not a striker, it's really, really, really good.
Especially I'm going to say it's not like he's been here 10 years either.
Yeah. Really, really good. Michael Smith with a penalty. Mick, was it a penalty?
I think it probably was a penalty.
Okay.
Just about. I think the goalkeeper went for the ball. The ball had already gone. Icky had got some momentum. He possibly could have pulled out of it, but the goalkeeper's positioning is such that Icky is now going to move out of his way. So he's essentially impeding him. He's impeding his progress across the front of the box. Whether or not, I mean, a foul doesn't have to be. There doesn't have to be any physical contact for a foul, does there?
No.
If you're stopping a player getting the ball when the ball's not there, it's a foul or obstruction, one of the two. I think it probably was a penalty. I don't know whether Neil Warnock's saying he were offside.
Apparently, I haven't seen that.
Having said that, Neil Warnock was saying Ladapo were offside, which is a fair call, to be honest, because he weren't even on pitch. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know whether he were or he weren't, but I think probably, yes, it was a penalty.
Ben, when I watched it, I saw the ball go flying over the bar and thought, that was a fantastic opportunity. And then it took me a minute or 30 seconds or so to realise he's blew for a penalty here.
We didn't see the blow. I can't remember what happened to the camera, but we just heard Beckin and the other guy, I think it's Sam Todd, did it, just say, we're not Beckin? Whatever, whoever on commentary said they were having penalty. I was like, what?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's iffy, innit? Because there's very minimal contact. But if he doesn't like jump over it, he snaps his leg in half.
Well,
I think.
Extreme,
it takes him out and could get injured. So I don't know. It's one of them, innit, where he has to jump, but if he doesn't, it's a foul. So, well, it's referee's call for me.
Yeah, fair point. And then Ryan Giles on debut the day after his 21st birthday. Borough pushing for the game, to be fair. You know, they're 2-0 down in the 90 plus 2 or 3 minutes, as it says there. But he held his run. When Wiles had the ball, it took a while for Wiles to get the ball under control properly so he could play. Giles held that run really, really well and timed it basically to perfection, mate.
Yeah, he did. And I think a bit of credit here has to go to Ben Wiles as well, because initially it looks like he's holding on to the ball too long. But that pass was perfect. It was perfectly weighted, and he got the defender wrong-footed as well. So he obviously waited to get into that position. It was a perfect pass. And let's be fair, probably a bit of a lucky finish. Took a deflection off the defender and went through goalie's legs. But just prior to that, he's already won me over from his first touch of the ball. You know, he comes out to him on left wing. He's 21 years old. He's making his debut against a team pushing for the championship. And all he does, he knocks it past the player and goes, "See ya." He's off, isn't it? You know, I mean, it was just brimming with confidence, and he left him for dead. I do like the look. I do like the look of him. Having said that, I could quite easily see Trevor Clark doing exactly the same thing.
Potentially, yeah.
So I don't know, but hey, I'm not going to complain. Not at all. It looks like we've got a good one there, and hopefully for the rest of the season. Well, it is for the rest of the season. So, yeah.
It's his first goal in the Championship. He did score last season for Shrewsbury in League One. First, he hadn't scored for Coventry this season. A couple of the sort of stats. Wes Harding's now made 25 appearances for the club, we're now 23rd game of the season. Obviously, those include cup games as well. He's been fantastic. And Clark Robertson came on. That's his 50th league appearance for the club. Good to see Clark Robertson gradually getting some game time after his injury. Ben, on somebody else who's come back from injury and had a really good game, in my opinion. Sean McDonald. He never does doesn't do the pretty things. He just works hard and just gets stuck in and just breaks the game up, and he did it really, really well. I
forgot he was playing really in the first 20
minutes. In a good way.
For his position, for what he does, that's good work. You know, he's not a playmaker. He's not a ball-ass type player. He's just going to sit there and do dirty work. And for him to not be noticed is a good thing. Because if he was being noticed, it means he's making mistakes in that type of position. So I agree. Yeah, he played quality. I think Barlaser said he was ill. Well, he didn't say he was ill, but I think he... So, don't know what the situation is with that. But, you know, if unless Barlas is 100%, then I don't see why not. I don't see why he should get taken out of the team.
The only issue is that he came off on the hour-ish mark looking very tired.
Well, he hasn't played a game since whenever, 3 months ago, whatever, 3 months ago. So.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good we're getting them back in. The talk was that Chio and Sadler might be on the bench for the Swansea game. If they're back on, it gives us a weapon off the bench potentially.
A weapon?
They are.
Yeah, it gives you two weapons, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Some electric pace, and it's not as though we're short of that on pitch already, is it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was some really, really cracking performances last night. Very, very difficult, as we talked about in the post-match live stream, to pick a man of the match. I think we all probably plumped for Smithy, but there were a lot of good candidates for that. A lot of candidates for that.
Yeah, there were a couple not mentioned. We haven't mentioned Ola Sunday, who were outstanding. Jamie Lindsay were fantastic. Ben Wiles. Ben Wiles probably had a quieter game than he would like. He lost the ball a couple of times, but he still had a very good game. That's been hypercritical. The defence looked really... I thought Angus MacDonald, we didn't mention this on the live show, I thought Angus MacDonald did his job really, really well last night.
You say that, right? You say that. There was a run in the first half where... No, but there was a run in the first half where I think Crooks should have got a foot in. But then, I can't remember who it was, but he's just running through the box. He takes a turn inside, and MacDonald just lets him. Turn inside, he takes a shot on there, that's a shot on goal. And it's just little things like that. If that's against, I don't know, Bournemouth.
18th League Middlesbrough.
Yeah, but Middlesbrough, they weren't good quality. I don't think that's how they get points. But if there's someone against Bournemouth or someone quality, they score. And that's not good enough, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
I mean, it was already in the box by the time he got to MacDonald, and there's not much MacDonald can do other than jockey him. He can't really put a challenge in once he's in the box. Yeah,
but once he turns inside, at least try and block a shot or something. Just let him. I don't know. I'm not a central defender.
Very harsh.
So. I suppose.
Icky and Woody were very, very, very good. They put the team there midweek out, didn't they? The Football League, and they put a couple of really good players in. Harding, Ihikwe. Unbelievably, no Smith or Crooks in it though, which is
Sundu in it as well.
Yeah, and Warney obviously got manager of the midweek as well. One final player we're going to talk about before we move on to Swansea is Jamal Blackman. I said this on the live show last night. If you think that Blackman's kicking's bad, go and watch Bettinelli from Middlesbrough keeper from last night, because his kicking was horrendous. And he's a former Premier League keeper. So
he won Fulham and Villa.
Yes, he's on loan from Fulham at the minute.
He was at Villa, wasn't he?
Don't know. I think he's been elsewhere. He was keeping Rodak out of the team. When we had Rodak on loan, that's who were in net for Fulham.
Yeah,
unbelievably. His kicking was okay last night. I think there may be one or two that went a bit wayward, but for the most part, it was fine. There was a save in the second half when it was only 1-0, which he pulled off a fantastic save. He came rushing out, made himself massive, and he got a very strong hand on it, Ben, didn't he?
Which one was this?
Blackman's save, the save.
Oh, Blackman. I thought you meant Bettinelli. I was like, oh, which one's this? The Blackman one, which one? Who shot it?
I don't know.
It was point blank. Yeah, it was point blank save. He came rushing out, took a defender out or an attacker. I can't remember. He just ran through somebody anyway. Because the ball had been pulled back to the penalty spot.
Where he punched it out. It wasn't really safe.
No, it's not leg, Ben. You were close. He punched it out with his leg.
No,
the one that Ben's talking about there, I think, is a much better save in the first half, where he's come out and punched across. He's come through about 4 players and punched across away. I thought he was outstanding last night. I genuinely think it's his best game for us. I thought he commanded his area from corner to corner, didn't he? You know, he went out, coming out people's feet, right on the edge of the 18-yard box. There were a couple of times in that first half where he ended up straying quite away from his goal, which initially I'm thinking, what you're doing, but there were no defenders helping him out. He was really left with no option but to do what he did. I really impressed with Blackman last night. Very, very good. Very good. Yeah. So he's obviously showing what he can do now.
Yeah, I agree. We're on a good little run now. What's that? 7 points from 3 games. The last time we had a run like this in the Championship, we went on a 9-game unbeaten run last in the Championship, but we only picked up 9 points from 7 games. We've almost got that amount of points from 3 games, and that's the difference between this. This needs to be the difference between now and last time. We were asked with 9-game unbeaten run, 8 draws, which is fine if you're winning some after that or before that. We didn't win anywhere near enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Nichols has just put here on the text. Consistency is what we need now, and that's precisely right. If we can consistently perform at that level or close to that level for the rest of the season, we are going to be miles away from the relegation zone. Relegation is not going to even be in anybody's thoughts come back end of March, April. No. If we can continue maintain that level of performance. We said it a few times on this podcast. certainly on the run up to Christmas when things weren't looking so great, that we tend to be a second half of the season team club, if you like. Certainly for the past 2 or 3 years, that's been the case. Hopefully, we said it at the Everton game as well, or after the Everton game, that hopefully this will be a turning point, that performance, and it seems to have been just that. The performances from that point onwards have been outstanding, and like Chris says, consistency now. This is the top part of the season where you need to start putting in consistent performances.
Yeah, could not agree more. Go on. We are now at we're now at the end of January, and we're finally at the halfway stage of the season, which is crazy. It's only Boxing Day halfway point, isn't it?
The thing is, right, though, the next month is the shortest calendar month in the year, right? We've got the most games. How many games? We've got 8 or 7 or what? What is it?
So ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
But unfortunately, I guess that's the nature of the season, isn't it? 4 weeks a month, and we've got 8 games, so it's 2 games a week, which we've been talking about for a while now.
True. Yeah. It's key for us though that we've the opposite again. It's the opposite to last time, sort of that we started off quite well in the Championship last time out. I think we're 17th or 18th, stopped doing pretty well, but then we tailed off. Yeah. Whereas this time we started off relatively strong. We've not been terrible, but we started off inconsistent, and now in the new year we've started to find a bit of consistency, starting to put some performances together, and this is the right time to do it. Especially when games come in thick and fast, it helps to have that momentum, and we've got to carry that into Saturday, even though Saturday's going to be an incredibly tough game.
Definitely, I agree.
Yeah, it is.
So Swansea City on Saturday. Do you want to mention anything else on the Middlesbrough game before we move on? Any final thoughts about how good it was?
No, I ain't go.
We covered it in some depth, didn't we, in the live stream after the game. So it was just fantastic. Great to see. Really, really pleased with it. And move on. We have to move on, don't we?
Yeah, I agree, and we will move on. Swansea City come up on Saturday. They are in a very, very good run at the minute. They're unbeaten in 7 games, 8 games if you count the league. They drew on Wednesday night to Brentford 1-1, having Kyle Norton sent off, which is a bit of a bonus for us because Kyle Norton's obviously a very experienced player. Having not in their team is very, very good for us.
Good thing as well. He's a Sheffield lad, so he'd have been right up for it, wouldn't he?
Probably, yeah. It's the 80th meeting between the two clubs on Saturday, which feels like a lot.
Yeah. Were they in the lower leagues? Have they been in Championship League One? Are they not a big club?
Not historically a big club, no.
Wow, I didn't know that.
A lot of the games have been the old Division 2s and 3s. I don't, other than when we played them last time in the Championship. Last time we were up in the Championship, I don't think we played them in second tier since like the 60s. Yeah, it's been a long old while.
Were they good games, Mick? Were they good games?
The ones in the 60s particularly were always close fought affairs. Yeah.
The last time we obviously played in the Championship last time out. The last time before that was 1960, Old League Division 2, which was 1964 when they were Swansea Town, not Swansea City.
Oh, was that Mick? Did you go to that game?
Yeah, I went to the ones away. Vetch Field, weren't it? Their ground, I think.
It was, yeah.
Those days. Lovely ground.
We also played them in a playoff. Our first ever playoff in the 1988, which was a Division 3/4 playoff, where it's like in Scotland, where the bottom team, like the third bottom team in the division above, plays like the third team in the division below.
What, to see who goes into the division above?
Yeah, it's quite a complicated way of doing it. Still do it in Germany as well. It didn't last very long, but we lost anyway.
Scotland, though,
they still do it sort of. They've done it in Scotland now, and I don't understand why. The English playoff system is the best in the world. It's unrivaled in what it produces in terms of entertainment, quality, and fairness for me as well.
So much easier as well.
Yeah, it's easy to understand. In Scotland, they have a playoff quarter final. It's bizarre.
It's easy if you're a Rotherham fan, isn't it? Because we just win them all the time. So
Well,
especially in recent years, yeah.
well, most of them, yeah.
Oh, let's not be negative. Come on.
Yeah. Swansea don't have a very good record in Rotherham. They beat us. They've only beaten us once in 11 meetings in Rotherham. Our away record's not brilliant against them, but they've only beat us once in that time, and that was in 2007, when we were in League One. We weren't very good that year. Ryan Manning got a double penalty last time we played them in the Championship. It's got some good signs towards it, Ben. Not only our performance, but we've got a good historical record against them at home. Yeah. But they are second in the league for a reason.
They were awful. They were one of the worst teams I've seen all season. I mean, we got cheated out of a point, which is unacceptable again. But that's Rotherham for you. They were awful. How they're second in the league? Jesus wept. I will never know. They were crap. Their centre back looked like he'd just come down from Bridge Inn. They were awful. You see him? Yeah, it just looked like he just got up at 12, had his sausage sarnie and come. Do you know what I mean? He did not look like a professional footballer. He was awful as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this game because they were awful. Especially if Chio and Sadler went bench, it's going to be an exciting game. For us, anyway. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the pitch is going to be better, Mick, and that just slightly worry me that the pitch might sort of play into their hands a little bit.
Yeah, possibly, because it was like playing a ploughed field at their place, wasn't it? It was as bad a surface as I've seen at a professional game since Swillsborough. Since the beach at Swillsborough. I honestly. Derby's were bad, but I think Swansea's was worse by some distance. So, yeah, it might play into their hands. But listen, if we put the same sort of performance in, they are going to have their hands full. If they play to their capabilities, second in division and however many £1 million their players are worth, if they play to that level, then we should lose. It's as simple as that. But we will play at a really high level intensity-wise. Whether they can cope with it, we'll have to wait and see. If they can't, then they're going to be in trouble. They will definitely be in trouble. I'm confident that we're going to continue now in the same vein. Things are starting to turn around, and we're getting that rub of the green that we weren't getting in the first part of the season. But on top of that, the players are starting to perform consistently right across the pitch. But maybe that's why we get rubber green in it. You make your own luck.
True, very true. They've got the fourth best away record in the division, but with the form we're in, that counts for nothing. Like you said, we turned up like we did on Wednesday, then it doesn't matter. The issue is it's a Wednesday to Saturday game. We ain't got that extra. When you play Tuesday, you get that extra day. But they've got the same situation. They had a much tougher game than we did. They went to Brentford and picked up a point, which is a very tough place to go and pick up anything. So hopefully they'll be feeling the same effects that we are. We're recording before any team news realistically has been put out, but I think there was talk last night from Warner that there's potential that Crooks might be struggling for Saturday. Which is a big issue. It would mean a big jigger, especially if Barley's is not fit as well. And then it means we're going to have to completely rejig the formation. Maybe go back to a 4-4-2, but then you're going to put a right side of midfield to there. You could put Giles on left, but then it's going to create all sorts of issues if he's not fit. If this is a week later and Sadler is fit, then it's not really a problem. You just stick Sadler in as number 10, off you go.
Yeah, we don't know what level of fitness Chio and Sadler have got to yet, do we?
No.
Yeah, they've been back in full training for. It will be almost it will be a fortnight, won't it? I think will it? By the time we get to Saturday, or virtually anyway.
Almost.
Yeah. So they will have been keeping themselves as fit as they possibly can, won't they? And within the bounds of what they've been, the injuries that they've had, but. Be lovely to see them two back, particularly Chio. I just can't wait to see him back in a Rotherham United shirt. Cannot wait.
I agree. The other option, Ben, is to put Freddie or Hurst in. Hurst came on against Middlesbrough, did okay. Could and should have scored if he hadn't been fouled. If he hadn't been fouled, he almost certainly would have got a goal because Smith played it on a plate for him.
Yeah,
it's work rate, isn't there?
It's not. I don't think it's so much work rate. I think it's where to apply the work rate. He runs about, but he don't put it in the right places. Like Smith is smart where he puts his work rate and defends from the front. Hurst does it in really smart with it. He'll press in the wrong situation or something. Do you know what I mean? But he's a young kid. I don't think that's a good idea. Playing Freddie or Hurst. I think Smith should stay up top by himself.
I mean, like Crooks is not fit.
That's what I mean. But like you said, if Crooks is not fit, then you're gonna have a problem. This is why I don't think we should have let Vass go. Probably not should have let him go, but he should have waited to let him go. I think
to get somebody else on.
Until Sadler is fit. I thought, but yeah, I want to see Sadler back in a shirt because he didn't really get a run in. He had 2 games. His second game, he got injured.
No, it wasn't that, but it weren't many.
Yeah, I can't wait for him to back. Like you said, Chio as well. Wow. There might be some tears of joy when he comes back. But,
will you be disbanding the Matt Sunday fan club and starting a Chio Ogbeni fan club? No, in here.
And play together. They can have a joint fan club.
Yeah.
Wow. Imagine that.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. Well, it's potentially going to be really good. It's going to be a fascinating game. Whether we win or lose, it's going to be fascinating. I'm really interested to see how it goes. There's 2 teams that are going to be very tired after 2 midweek performances. I don't know how we're going to line up. We're going to have 2 minutes now predicting the team, but it's difficult to pick, mate, because I would be surprised if Shawnee Mack can complete another 90 minutes. Potentially, we're talking that Crooks might not be fit. Would you bring Giles in for Harding? Although Harding was very, very good. Is that then harsh on Harding? Could you then move to a different formation? But Harding's a right back. Matt Sunday is a right winger. Then would you put left back? There's so many different things.
I've got an idea who I think should play.
If you're listening, Morning.
Yeah, if you're listening. But it means playing 2 up front, which is a bit iffy. So I don't know. I got obviously Blackman in net, Harding right back.
Yeah.
Woody, Nicky at back, centre backs. Giles left back.
Okay.
Sunday right wing. Lindsay and either Shawnee Mack or no, I put Wiles on left because they're also going to play on left.
Okay.
You can't play
middle then. Lindsay and McDonald.
Lindsay and McDonald, Lindsay and Barlas, or Lindsay and Crooks. There's got to be one of them fit. They can share 90 minutes between them, surely. And then Smith and either Freddie or Hurst. That's probably the team that you can play.
The only thing I would argue with that one is you could put Giles as a left winger and then put Clark Robertson as left back.
Yeah, that's a better option.
It might be. It just gives a bit more defensive cover at left back, doesn't it?
That's a bit. Yeah, it gives. Yeah, that's probably a better solution.
It clearly depends on what the injury situation is, doesn't it? Or injury and illness situation. Yeah. If Barles is back, then you would expect him to come straight back into the team. If Crooks is injured, I think if Crooks is not fit, that will be the biggest headache, I think. I think I'd like to say that I saw something from Hurst last night that I've not seen before. I want to say it. I don't know what it was. I can't put my finger on it. That sounds ridiculous. I can't put my finger on it. It just seemed to be slightly different. I don't know. I don't know what it was. It just seemed more involved. It just seemed more dangerous. Now, I don't know whether that's because of how effective Smithy was yesterday or whether it was just... I don't know what it was. But I can see why people are interested in him. And I don't know. Again, I can't put my finger on it, so don't ask me to explain why. It just seemed different yesterday.
Yeah, so he needs help, doesn't he? And that's clear for everybody to see. I don't think he's played with Smith. If he has played with Smith, it was before Smith hit his stride. So it might. I found it very interesting, very, very interesting that he brought Hurst on and not Freddie.
Yeah.
That is very telling that he clearly prefers Hurst at the minute to Freddie. And Freddie, we all know Freddie is a goal threat because of what he's done in the past. But Hurst is clearly doing something in training for wanting to put Hurst in ahead of Freddie, which is surprising, Ben. But you've got to put trust in money, haven't you?
Yeah. Well, we have to, first of all, because we can't do anything about it. But, yeah, I agree. I've got my trust in him. He's been at the club, 4 years now? 5 years, nearly.
Freddie?
No, won it.
200 games, 201 games now.
I think it was 2016, wasn't it? 4 or 5 years, whatever it is.
Yes, you're right.
You've got to have faith in him. He's a good manager. He's got us back up to the Championship twice. We got relegated once, but I'd argue that weren't our fault. But, I've been serious. I genuinely would. But yeah, I have faith in him. I've got faith in everyone at the club at the minute. It's such a different, unique culture, which is how you succeed in football. So.
I agree. Yeah. We've got Philippi Flop, who agrees with Mick on Hurst. He thinks that it will come good with him running the team. Yeah, I agree. He's got the makings of a decent player. He just needs to start putting it together, and hopefully he will. If he's going to start getting a chance ahead of Freddie, then he's going to have some chances between now and the end of the season. He's just got to start taking them. It's all down to Hurst at this point to take those chances as and when he gets them.
It is, and unfortunately, Freddie, I think, has had more opportunity. Well, it's not unfortunate. Freddie's had more opportunity to prove that he can compete at this level. And whenever he's come on, virtually every time, apart from right at the very beginning of the season, he's reverted back to type and bad decision making, turning the wrong way, not being in the right place, shooting when he shouldn't be shooting, not passing when he should be passing. We've gone over it time and again. I'm not convinced that Freddie's at a stage in his career where he's going to change. Hurst, on the other hand, he's a blank page, isn't he? He's a blank page, and if playing with somebody like Michael Smith, that is the type of player I would argue that he would like to aspire to. Smithy is a very similar player. Well, not very similar, but he's a similar player to what Hurst's dad was. He's a big, strong centre forward. A little bit different, more in the Shearer mould rather than the Michael Smith mould, but nevertheless, he's a big, strong centre forward. So I assume that's what Hurst will want to aspire to. He'll want to aspire to be as good, if not better, than his dad was. So, Michael Smith is a decent, not a bad player to be learning off, particularly with the form that he's in at the moment. Yeah,
completely agree. You've got a couple of people agree. Have you ever had this many people agree with you, Mick?
I've been calling all my mates before.
Is this just you on different accounts?
Yeah. It is.
Chris Wright said, I agree with Mick. Hurst to score his first goal on Saturday. It would. If Crooks is not fit, then I suppose you could just stick through same formation 3-5-2 and go 2 up top, like we did do with Smith and Vassar a few times. It's a quick turnaround, which doesn't help. Yeah. I mentioned that already. I don't like these quick turnarounds. It doesn't suit us. It suits us to play Saturday, Tuesday.
Too late that.
Exactly. We clearly had to do it for one reason or another. It just doesn't suit us. I'm hoping it doesn't suit Swansea either, which we'll find out. I suppose they'll probably have a bigger squad than us. Predictions for the score, if you would like to go first, Mick.
Ooh, thanks. I hadn't thought about this.
Okay.
It's not like you ask me this question on every single podcast that we do, is it? You know what I mean?
No, I'll give you some stats before you decide. So we've got 7 goals in 3 games. We have conceded 3 in those 3 games, but 2 clean sheets out of those 3. Obviously, Everton conceded 1 as well. So yeah, goals in those 3 games.
What I would say is that Swansea, for me, are as bad a team as I've seen all season that we've played against, much like Stoke were. They don't seem to me to be a free-scoring team.
No.
So I'm going to go for 3 apiece. Well, I mean, yeah, 3-3.
Right. 3-3.
2-0 for us. 2-0 to us. That's my goal.
You're right. They don't score many goals. Just looking through their fixture list in the league, they've not scored more than 2 goals in a game. They beat Forest 5-1 in Cup, but Forest are terrible. They're not free scoring.
It was Cup, so Forest probably had under 14s, didn't they?
No, they were just crap.
Fair enough.
Ben, what did you say? You give me a score.
2-0, yeah.
2-0.
Yeah.
There'll be goals. I'm going to go draw 2-2, similar to the Bournemouth game a month or 2 ago. Similar to that. Hopefully Smith can keep this run going of either scoring or getting involved in the goals. Because even with Crooks' first goal yesterday, it came from Smith attacking.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
I'm really, really positive about this little run. This is the best little run. It's only 3 games, 4 if you count the Everton game in terms of performances. But there's a lot of positives at the minute.
Yeah.
I just hope if we do lose on Saturday, which is entirely possible, because Swansea, even though they were rubbish against us, they're clearly a good team to be up in second.
Yeah.
If we don't win, I hope it's not like one of them we come crashing down to earth and we go on a bad run. We've got to keep that confidence high.
Yeah. After Lord Mayor's show and all that, you never know, do you? You just don't know. But I don't think you can discount the Everton game out of that run. I think the Everton game was key. Surprisingly, the one that we didn't want, anyway. So I have done a ref watch actually, believe it or not. Tony Harrington is a referee on Saturday. He has not refereed us this season at all yet. The last time he refereed us was when we were in the Championship last time, all at home. A 4-0 defeat to West Brom, a 4-2 defeat to Brentford. But interestingly, he officiated over our 2-1 win over Swansea City.
2 penalties as well, wasn't it?
2 penalties. So I tell you what, Tony, if you're listening or watching, same again Saturday. Happy days. I'll slip you that tenner in. And if it's 2 penalties, I'll bang a crate of Stella in there and all. Yeah, well, we'll see. But I've not seen. I don't know anything of the bloke, so can't pass comment. Realistically, I think he's done 49 yellow cards in 20 games, a couple of reds. So it looks like an average Joe in terms of his overzealousness.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm sure he'll be as crap as the rest of them.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. We didn't really talk about the ref last night, but I suppose all I'm going to say is he was rubbish. If anybody didn't watch the game, he had a terrible game, the referee. Just in general, it was a very stop-start refereeing performance in terms of giving lots of fouls. Crap.
Like I said last night, he's clearly a frustrated midfielder, isn't he? He just spent all game breaking play up. That's all he did. Useless. Rubbish.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. So that's it. We will call that there. Thank you, everybody, for listening, watching. This is obviously going live on YouTube. So thanks to all who are watching YouTube, and thanks to all who are listening to the podcast. We really appreciate everybody getting involved. We did the live show. We were doing another live on Saturday, pre-match and post-match. Would you like to know a little stat? I think we were bringing Rotherham some good luck, because every time we've done a post-match live show, we've won.
Yeah.
So
do you know why that is? Do you know why that is? Because if we lose, I'm not doing one.
True.
I don't want to know, because I'm not. I mean, podcasts are all about talking, aren't they? And I ain't talking if we've lost.
Fair enough. So get involved in that as and when. We'll tweet it out and Facebook it out, and if you just reply to it, we can see the comments and we can get you involved in the show on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter is where it'll be live. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we're going to be doing a couple of videos. We're going to spend 5-10 minutes going through how we think we're going to have to set up when Chio and Sadler come back in at some point in the next few days, because it's a fascinating topic and it's going to be really interesting how we do it. The transfer window's coming to a close, so I'm sure we'll do a transfer window special as well. If you haven't already, subscribe on iTunes and Spotify as well for the podcast part. like the Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, and keep getting involved. We really appreciate. In the last night, we had 28, 30 comments, something like that, from you guys getting involved. We tried to get everybody in, so thanks everybody that did. We've got an email, rufcpod@gmail.com. So if you want to give us some feedback or tell us something or want us to include something in future, just let us know and we'll chuck it. This is as much for you guys as it is for us. Especially when we're not going at games, it's all trying to just. It's what you do after the game normally. When you're walking back to the car or whatever, you just have a chat with your mates about how crap it was or how good it was. It's the idea, particularly during these times. I think it's. I'm hoping you're enjoying it. Mick, are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I am. Particularly, last night was fantastic. We got a lot of people involved after the game. The comments coming in thick and fast, and looking at some of the figures of how many people have looked at the videos is phenomenal, really. So just thank you, and but please get involved because it's about all of us. It's all about obviously supporting the club and everything else. So yeah, please just get involved. We are looking. We've got the Sky games coming up. I don't know whether you want to mention that, Matt.
Yeah. So because obviously when it's on Sky, they can't have iFollow live. I know for a fact. I assume everybody else is the same as me. I don't really want to watch Sky's coverage. I can't stand their Championship pundits are in the Championship because they're not very good. If they were good enough, they'd be punditing on Premier League. So it's basically how I feel about it. So we're going to do some. If anybody's familiar with YouTube, you'll see watch-alongs where people just watch the game and not necessarily commentate on it, but talk through it. That we're going to potentially do those. How is it? Bournemouth, Forest, and Piggies. We've got on telly, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. We don't want to do it during non-match games because we want you to pay tenner so the club gets the money. But when it's Sky, I couldn't care less.
No, absolutely. The idea is, I guess, will be to turn commentary down and all of us, not just us three, but everybody else, get involved with the comments and everything else, and let's have a chat about the game while it's going on. So we don't have to. You just look out for them. We'll advertise them. They'll be titled "Plucky Little Rotherham." Just on behalf of Sky, just to make sure that they're aware, that we are a plucky little team, and we'll see how it goes. What I am impressed with as well, by the way, for everybody that's listening, crack on, keep going with these teams like Rotherham hashtag because it was trending last night. I'm sure trending. Listen to me, I'm well into new stuff. But anyway, it was all over Twitter last night. Fantastic, love it, absolutely love it. So yes. I'm gonna have a mug. I'm getting myself a mug with teams like Rotherham on. So I'm going to join Ben's Battle Sunday fan club merchandise non-existent shop.
Yeah. I'll wear it if he scores.
He's scored once. Anyway, we've been going on forever now.
If he plays well, I'll wear it up close, man.
Yeah.
If he gets set, I'm wearing it.
Okay. So thanks all. Really appreciate you getting involved and everything else. Ben, it's been a pleasure.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you all again. This will be out Friday morning for the podcasters. We'll just link the podcast. This will be out on Friday. And we'll see you all hopefully before and after the game for the pre and post match live shows on Saturday, when we'll hopefully bring in another 3 points for the Mighty Millers. Cheers for listening, guys, and I'll see you all soon.